The Sephora sale is approaching. This is a no BS, like straight to the point video about what I don't recommend, what I do recommend, and at the end we're also gonna see my wish list. So stay tuned, grab a cup of tea, and let's get started. I tried to associate every product I don't recommend with a product I do recommend, but there are some categories that aren't covered, so those will be at the end, I guess. Let's start with foundation. A product I don't recommend is the new Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. Mine is in the shade something RN1. I like the long wearing aspect of this. I like how it doesn't sit in my fine lines, how it doesn't enhance them, but I do believe that at the end of the day, the more it wears, the more it kinda not separates, but it really starts emphasizing my dryness. I have basically combo skin. I am very dry at the edges of my face and I'm oily in my T-zone, but somehow it started like separating near my nose, and also like in my dry areas it started like cracking. So while I did a review for this, I did say that I would have wore this. I do believe that I do still wear it, I just don't love it for longer periods of time, and that is the reason why I would not overall recommend it. I do believe that there are better foundations. You can find better foundations at the drugstore, like this Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint is one of my favorites, and it also is like a serum-y type of foundation. But if you want something from the Sephora sale, of course, that is also a serum-y foundation. I highly recommend the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydra Lux Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. A lot of SEO keywords. I like this a lot. I've used this a lot. I just shook it so you can't really tell how far I am, but I use this quite often. The only thing is, it's one of those foundations that normally just sit in my fine lines. I've come to accept that because I don't think foundations can make miracles, and it was basically a miracle that the Natasha Denona foundation didn't do that a lot. This does that, but I mean, I just pat the area and it's gone. I love how it wears. I love how natural it feels. It feels super lightweight. I'm wearing it right now. It's not super full coverage. It's like skin tint type of coverage, maybe a bit more than a normal skin tint, and definitely a bit less than the Natasha Denona, but this is one of those, like, I travel with this. I use this while I'm going out. I use this a lot. Staying in the Natasha Denona range, where did I put that? I had already put it away. That says a lot, by the way, because the makeup I usually use I either have on this desk or in my vanity. This was in my drawers. This is the Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone Palette in the shade Soft. This is the lightest iteration of the two. There's also a deep one. I don't have the deep one. This is at $82 or $83 palette. I just don't feel like it's worth it. While I do really like the creamy shades, I do believe that the powder eyeshadows don't blend really well, especially this C2 shade, this cool tone shade, and that is basically the shade I use the most because I love like these taupey shades. I also don't really love the fact that you only have two metallic shades, and one is super deep, so you basically can't use it if you like, unless you want a full smoky eye, and it's that brown. On my eyes it's even deeper because you see when the light doesn't hit it, it's like almost black. It's super deep. And the other shade is this like champagne gold shade. You can see the video where I try on this palette. Both of these shades don't have any shimmer to them, like they are metallics, and on the eyes they look even worse. They look like satin shades, and I hate the fact that it is the lightest shade is so yellow, so gold, because it doesn't work well with my skin tone. I am neutral cool. I just don't overall understand why only two shades, one super light and one super deep. I wish it had more like mid-tone shades. I don't love how it blends And overall, there's also a lot of warm shades, like this row is warm, this row is warm, this row is warm, which is not a fault, it's just a personal preference. I prefer like usually more neutral to cool tone shades. I just don't think this is worth it for the price, and it also has some very basic shades. Like it's an all matte palette with very basic shades that you probably already have in another palette. And you know, when my boyfriend asks me why do you keep buying palettes if you already have the shades, I usually tell him it's because of the vision, because of the look it conveys. Like you have a color story and it conveys a type of look and looks, of course, that you can get with the palette. With this palette, it's just an array of mattes that you already have. There's no like vision behind it. I mean, it might be useful for makeup artists. I just don't think $83 is it. If you want one of the newest eyeshadow palettes that has released and it's a good quality, I do believe that the Etherealized Nature palette is a very good option. It also has like 2 rows of mattes, 2 rows of shimmers. Now, this is a bit controversial because people don't like the shimmer. Like, it's not that they don't like it, they don't think it is up to par with the original Etherealized palette, and I do agree with that. If you're interested in learning more about it, I do have a review up. I like it. The mattes are very smooth, buttery. I use these mattes a lot, even though they do like lean a bit warm. Like this row, it's kinda warm, and this is more yellowy, but they're super easy to blend. I have the mattes from this palette on my eyes today. I love it. I think I also probably will bring this with me. The shimmers are good metallic shimmers, so I really like the palette overall. I think that it's super wearable. You can do multiple looks with it. You can also have a pop of green and, you know, do something interesting with your look. These are not super glimmery shades, so don't think you're buying into a second, like a third iteration of the Etherealized original palette. It's not it. Just think of it as a separate palette, but as a separate palette, it is beautiful and I do highly suggest it. And speaking of shimmers, you might have noticed something very sparkly on my eye. It is the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Sticks in the Duo number 6. And yeah, it is big, but you can also like disassemble it. These are magnetic and travel with just the 2 small pencils. I will swatch them both for you. So one of them is a more like a base shade. It still has some shimmer to it. It is like a metallic, and the second shade is a foil, and these are the terms that she herself uses to describe this. And this is a beautiful like champagne-y, rosy, foily shade. You can see how shiny that is. It's such a cool duo to like bring with you or to use. Like you can just directly use it on your eyes and it will set. I really like it, and I do believe that it is like the perfect addition if you want to add some oomph to your eyes. Just as well, another controversial piece, we have the Patrick Ta In Your Dreams eyeshadow duo. This is one of the new one it came out with. Yes, this is pricey. It is like $42, but during the sale, you know, if you were eyeing this, I do recommend this. I don't know about the other shades, but these 2 are like super sparkly and glimmery. I wore this last night. I was out for dinner and under the light it kept catching these glitters. It's very nice. Again, controversial because of the price, because last year not all the duos were of the same quality. So just a warning, I specifically recommend this duo. I don't know about the others. You might want to swatch them in store because you will be immediately able to tell the difference if one of the 2 shades is not as shimmery. Let's talk about blushes next. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewy Flash. I have this one in the shade Berry Flash. They just came out with new shades, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because everybody is kinda in hype about them. I don't know what people specifically like about these. I mean, they are nice. I just don't think, where do I even watch this? I just don't think that they last a lot on me. And if you are applying these and then putting on a powder, like, first of all, they are super sheer. They just leave you with a soft tint, but that's kind of their thing. You need to like this. But if you apply powder on top of that, the color is gone. And I thought, maybe adding powder would help the lasting powder of the product. Just no, because it disappears. So I cannot wear it without powder because it disappears, and I cannot wear it with powder because it disappears anyways. I just don't see the hype about this product. I use it sometimes when I want more like that K-beauty, more fresh, dewy skin and a blush type of look, but it is for short periods of time that I have blush on. I also don't really see the hype for the Dior blushes. Where did I put mine? Here it is. Again, I had to pick it up, which means if it's far from here, it's not something I use a lot. So this is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Stick in the shade Rosewood. It is a super nice formula. It is a super nice shade, but it has this like menthol scent. I just don't get why you would put that in a face product. The color is super nice. This is a more like transparent type of formula. There's nothing wrong specifically with this product, but when there are so many on the market, and a lot of them even just as well blush sticks, I just don't feel like this deserves recognition. Another blush I didn't like is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch. I don't know what it's called. It's like the matte bouncy blush. I will put a picture up. I don't have it anymore. I had it in the shade Happy and I gave it away to a friend who wanted it. I like it, nothing exceptional, but specifically I didn't like the shade. I did believe that it was too like fluorescent and too bright for me, even though Happy is described as a more cooler toned product, and all that line overall is very warm toned. So if you're looking for something more neutral or more cool toned, I don't think this line of product is for you. But let's talk about the blushes that I love and use a lot. First of all, the Huda Beauty blush filters. I have 3 of these and I have 2 more over there. That's how much I really like this formula. These are super easy to blend, like stupid easy to blend. I am wearing them right now. I'm wearing 2 shades. Specifically, I am wearing Cotton Candy, which is this swatch here at the top, and I'm also wearing Black Cherry, which is a deeper shade. I mixed the 2 of them and they give me this like nice flush. And the beautiful thing about these is that you can use this as lipsticks. I am wearing one of them as lipstick. That is the shade Strawberry Cream, which I'm swatching as well, just for completion. I just believe that these are such a nice foolproof formula. They're so compact, easy to travel with, like easy to apply. You cannot over apply them. Of course, you're using a shade that is not meant for you, but it really is that easy to use them, and I always recommend them. I keep my recommendation. It's still one of the best blushes, I think, on Sephora right now. Another one I really use is the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Blush Healthy Glow Stick. I have the one in Rosy Glow. This is a blush stick and it is a good formula, very easy to blend, and yeah, it doesn't disappear. It lasts a long time on me and I love the color. It is like not a cool tone pink. It is a warmer pink, but it is like the right amount of bright without being too overpowering, and such an everyday shade. Special mention as a powder blush, the Ilia Soft Focus Blurring Blush. I have the shade Glimpse, which is basically the same color of the packaging. I use this when I want a more subdued blush look. It is such a beige pink, and it also has some reflect to it, like some peachy to violet kind of reflect that you won't be able to catch on camera, but it gives that luminosity to your cheeks. It makes them look healthy. I think it's such a nice blush to use when you don't know what to pair with your eye look or with your with an important lip look. That is it for the what I don't recommend. Some other products that don't have a correspective not recommended product are this Kosas powder, the Cloud Set powder. This is in the shade Candy, which is the pink. Well, it was more pink. Now, as you can see, it's starting to become whitish. I noticed that is something with that happens specifically with products that have this like baby pink type of shade. Anyways, this powder really makes everything look so smooth. I'm using it again today. Everything I'm talking about I have on my face right now. I've used it so much. You can see it used to be a dome and now it's basically flat. This is the powder I use. I have other powders. I just use this more and they have a lot of colors. So this pink one is for brightening, but it fits well with my skin tone, so I use it all over. But I also have more like skin tone type of colors. I even recommended this to my mom when she was looking for a new powder. This is such a nice product. This is it for my Sephora sale recommendations as well. Let's jump straight into my wish list because I know that you are curious just as I am. I watch a lot of like Sephora sale recommendations and wish list videos. Also, if you have any opinion about any of these products, let me know. I am always okay with you know, just filtering and lowering the total price. This is not a lot of product, just as my recommendations. I don't think there are a lot of products. I'm not one of those that spends like thousands of dollars during the Sephora sale. I just focus on what really catches my eye. So the first product, I'm gonna put everything here. The first product I see in my cart is the Too Faced Ribbon Wrapped Lash Extreme Length Tubing Mascara. Again, such a long name. But this mascara, I think it first released in the Asian market. And it is one of those mascaras that give like that doll-like effect. I don't need a lot of volume. I have a lot of lashes. I like that lengthening effect. So I'm picking it up, but I'm picking up the mini size because I want to test it out. And honestly, the minis just last a lot as well. A second mascara I have in my cart is the Makeup by Mario Master Mascara Volumizing and Lift in the shade Perfect Brown. Now, I used to have a brown mascara. I think I finished it. Yes, I'm looking around to check if I do. I finished it. This looks really nice, and I do believe that with more warmer toned eyeshadows or even more simpler makeup looks, a brown mascara is perfect. I'm also very fair, so I think it will work well. I am also picking up the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint Foundation in the shade 3 Rosy Neutral. I swatched this in store and it basically, well, first of all, the shade disappeared on my hand, which is a good sign that it is a good match, but also it felt so thin, so hydrating. It looked great, and I'm still looking for a Lisa Eldridge skin tint dupe because I'm having some suspicions that that skin tint causes like milia on me. I would like to confirm it, but at the same time I don't want to have milia, so I don't know. I think that this could be it. I'm really interested to see it. Always from Hourglass, I'm also trying the Unreal Liquid Blush in the shade Craft. It is like a berry, but a warm berry type of shade. This I also swatched in store. I swatched a different color because they didn't have Craft, but this is actually super pigmented. And like one drop was a lot, which I was not expecting at all from Hourglass. And the reason why I'm picking this color is because I am looking for the perfect berry warm shade that works on me. In fact, for that I did pick up weeks ago the Patrick Ta She's Wanted, but this is a bit too cool tone for me. Let me show you why. Like, it ends up looking very purple. I have no room. It ends up looking like this fuchsia purple, and I think I want something warmer, so this Hourglass blush could be it. And I'm also curious about the formula. Always in my pursuit of this perfect berry warm blush, I have added to cart the Patrick Ta makeup gift set. This comes with a blush and a gloss, both of them in limited edition shades. I am getting the color Warm Me Up, which is the second, the deepest one, because it looks like that berry, like scrumptious shade. I really want to try it, and the gloss just looks like a nice shimmer gloss with some like berry undertone, which can be quite nice for the holidays. Last but not least, I have 2 skincare items in my cart, and they're not what you think. These are the Sephora collection eye mask in caramel macchiato and face mask in caramel macchiato. Everyone's talking about them, everyone is using them. I'm picking up 2 each. I haven't seen that in my local Sephora, and I really like caramel. I don't know. Sephora collection is discounted 30% during the Sephora sale, so I think it's a good time to add them to cart. I also forgot the last makeup item actually is the Sephora collection Best Skin Ever multi-use concealer in the shade 01P. I'm not sure about this. I don't use concealer. I've added this to cart because I think that I should start because I noticed that maybe its foundation is not enough in these areas that tend to look a bit green, a bit blue, and I saw some people use it. It looks very thin, it looks coveragey enough. I don't know. I'm still unsure about this, but again, Sephora collection is 30% off during the sale. And this was it for my wish list. Thank you for watching this video. I know it was a long one. I hope you enjoyed your cup of tea, and remember to subscribe if you want more makeup videos. Hopefully I will see you in my next one. Have a good one. Bye!